Now they will often sleep like this underneath the water, just kind of sticking their noses up every few moments for some air, so they could be hanging out right next to you, even during the day, and you'd never even know. Looks like there are some Nile hippopotamus off to our left, though, a whole group of them. Now a group of hippos like that is known as a bloat. A bloat of hippos. Not exactly the prettiest word, but I do think it is pretty accurate because hippos weigh about 5,500 pounds each. It's almost 3 tons per hippopotamus. Also off to our left here, these gray birds are the pink-backed pelican. They get their name from the pink color they will develop on their backs during mating season. It's a little bit hard to tell because they all have their feathers tucked in, but underneath of those wings, they really are starting to get that pink color. So hippos also kind of have a secret. They don't actually the Nile crocodiles that like to hang out here. So these crocodiles, especially during the day, do prefer to hang out with their mouths wide open. Now that is because crocodiles are cold-blooded. Not that they're unfriendly, but that they are exothermic. That means that they're going to use the environment around them to help regulate their internal body temperature. So they do look like we are just in time for another very beautiful African sunset. They're a little bit famous around here. They're extremely gorgeous and of course go on and on, which seems for almost hours. We are coming up on our left on the home of some spotted hyenas. Now, I don't really like to stop around here because these hyenas kind of give me the hungry eyes every time we get a little bit too close. Looks like they're hanging out way in the back of that rock formation there. Kind of hard to see, but it looks like they're hopefully sleeping for now, and I hope they stay that way. Hyenas do live in a matriarchal society where the lowest ranking female outranks the highest ranking male. Looks like the alpha female was there in the back pacing around too. She's a head hyena in charge. Hyenas actually kind of get a bad rep, I think. So coming up to our right when we get around this corner, those cows with the very large horns are the Ankole cattle, also known as the Watusi cattle, named for the Watusi tribe that originally domesticated them almost 200 years ago. They're actually the only domesticated animal that you are going to find anywhere here on reserve. And you can see they have some extremely large horns. Their horns can actually grow to be about 5 to 6 feet in length from tip to tip. Their horns aren't very heavy though, they're actually very light because on the inside they're honeycomb that allows for blood to pass through, helps keep the animals nice and cooled off. So off to our left is actually a family of the world's largest antelope. So there's 2 moms there in the back, 2 babies, but up front, that is Daddy Patterson's eland. He is the world's largest of the largest antelope. He's 6 feet tall just from his burly shoulders down and weighs 1,900 pounds. He's an incredible fellow. Don't want to get into a fight with him though because he can still jump 6 to 8 feet. Looks like there is a whole herd of white-bearded wildebeest hanging out here to our right. Now, wildebeest do travel in extremely large herds, usually anywhere from 10 to 100 individuals. They also have one of the largest migration patterns in the world. Every year, about 1.5 million of these wildebeest are all going to make their way across the grasslands together. They can go for about up to 5 days without drinking any water in the desert if necessary. And they're also known as the Gnu. So wildebeest are called Gnu because of the sound that they make, and it kind of sounds like meow, meow. The baobab tree actually plays a very important role here in the ecosystem. So it is going to go for about 8 months without any leaves. As you can tell, it kind of has those weird looking branches there. They almost look like roots, so it's also known as the upside down tree. But the reason the tree is going to go leafless is to conserve water. That water will actually be stored in the trunk here. If you look off to our right, you'll spot some holes all in that trunk. That is actually from where elephants have pierced the trunk with their tusks. They release the water that's stored in there during periods of drought, so all of the animals on the savanna can access it. like there are a few very beautiful African elephants hanging off to our left. So Mom's the one all the way on the left there. She's pretty big, the matriarch of the herd, about 10,000 pounds, so pretty large lady. Looks like our babies are hanging out a little bit closer to us here. I'm hoping we can see the one down here. So elephants are actually pregnant with their young for almost 2 years. 22 months to be exact. There we go, 2 baby elephants. So if 22 months of pregnancy was not enough, elephants also have the second longest childhood out of all mammals. The first is ourselves. So elephants are going to stay with their mothers for about 15 years, and humans, of course, about 35. So coming up to our left, a little bit of a smaller animal. This is a whole flamboyance of flamingos. Now these are the greater flamingos, greater meaning larger. They are the least pink as well as the tallest type of flamingo. Flamingos getting their pink color from their diet, which consists of shrimp and krill. Those shrimp and krill contain a substance that is known as beta-carotene. Looks like miles per hour. However, they can only maintain those speeds for pretty short distances, maybe a few hundred yards at most, because they do overheat very quickly. Now, it is only going to take a cheetah about 12 seconds to overheat, which doesn't seem like a very long time, and it's not, but those cheetahs usually do catch their prey within that time frame. Now, I think it is really cool that cheetahs can run fast, but perhaps my favorite cheetah fact of all is that they are actually the only big cats with the ability to purr. Speaking of big cats, though, we are heading up on a kopje. Kopje is a large rock formation favored by lions to use as a vantage point to spot prey as well as to cool off in the hot sun. Looks like those female lionesses are hanging out here on the kopje, and the male has come up as well off to our left. So lions are going to remain completely inactive for about 16 to 20 hours out of each and every single day. Most of that time will be spent asleep. Then for about 4 hours at night, they will go do their hunting. It's actually going to be those 2 females there who go out and do the hunting, while that male stays home to protect the pride, or at least what he insists is doing so. I think he really is just supervising. Looks like those females are just about ready to go hunting, so maybe we should head out of here in just a moment or so. Not sure I want to hang out too close with those hungry lions. The Swahili word for lion is actually Simba, so that is where he gets his name from. Of course, you folks have seen your own Simbas this evening. Oh, do you hear him roar? Alright, it seems like he's kind of taking his spit off to the side there. So the lion's roar might have sounded a little bit strange to you, and that's actually because since about the 1950s, they replaced the lion's roars in movies with a recorded tiger's roar. So even in The Lion King, you probably have never heard a lion roar before then. You've been fooled your whole lives. But now you actually know what a lion's real roar sounds like. Maybe not as impressive, but still pretty darn cool. So there's a bunch of animals hanging out to our right. The most prominent, of course, are those zebras. Every zebra does have a set of unique stripes, kind of like our human fingerprints. Turns out zebras are actually black with white stripes because they do have a black nose and lips, indicating that their hide is black underneath of those stripes. So there are 2 different kinds of antelope hanging out next to the zebras. The ones off to the right, the lighter browns ones way in the back, those are the addax. They have those curly horns, and they actually are going to go in the desert for about 9 months without drinking any water at a time. Also off to the right, those darker brown antelope, those are off to the left of the zebras. They are known as the bontebok. So bontebok are unfortunately completely extinct in the wild due to poaching. They are poached for their coat that kind of has a purplish tint in the sun. At one point, there were only 20 Bon Tabaka left in the world.